Welcome back to Man Down Sports. I am your host. As you can see from the thumbnail, Stephen A. Smith is going to be the topic of discussion. He said some things on his podcast. He also said some things on ESPN the same day. And it was pertaining to Kawhi Leonard. And I'm not even going to call it load management. He hurt his knee. He sprained his knee. So he missed game 3 of the Phoenix series. And now they've reported that he's going to miss game 4. And Stephen A just went off, right? He went off and then he said something that was like very shocking. I'm gonna play it for you. I mean, it was pretty much I'm gonna play it for what he said. It was about Kyrie Irving, but I'm gonna play it for you, then I'm gonna come back with my commentary.
Don't know. He does nothing to promote the NBA. Nothing. Russell Westbrook, hell, he creates headlines walking into the arena because you're wondering what outfit he's going to wear. We don't see Kawhi in a suit. We don't see him with some crazy, wild out fashion outfit. We don't hear any quotes that are scintillating or substantive. We don't hear anything. He gives you nothing but his brilliance as a basketball player, and that, he says, you can have 50% of the time. You damn right I would take Kyrie Irving. If I'm an owner, I'm not talking about as a basketball player because Kawhi is one of the greatest. I'm talking about if I own a team and I need to attract an audience, I'm taking Kyrie Irving over Kawhi Leonard any day of the week. Any day.
All right, so you heard it. And that's just a new hot take for Kawhi, not Kawhi, but for Stephen A. Smith. It's just a new hot take. There's not a lot of Kyrie Irving news or negative press that's out there available for them to put out there for people to consume. So Stephen A. needs a new hot take that he can ride. There's no greater hot take that can be ridden the whole season. And Kyrie Irving was a hot take that you could always pull from. You could always go to the well and draw water from it, and some of it is on Kyrie because he gives them the ammo, right? He showed up, he'd go to a press conference and he refused to talk to people. Or when he did talk to them, he'll call the media puppets, or, he'll take a week off for personal reasons, or he'll decide not to get the vaccine, which cause him to get suspended, or he'll tweet a movie out which caused him to get suspended. So, for the last three years, or at least his time in Brooklyn, that's always been something that the media could draw from with dealing with Kyrie. And the good thing about it is the hot takes that they put out there, people was eating it up. It was good for clicks. People would click on it. All you had to do was have Stephen A. Smith saying something about Kyrie, and it'd get 1 million views the same day. They don't have that right now. And Stephen A. is a hot take king, and he's looking for a new hot take, and he's found it with Kawhi and load management. I don't even want to talk about Kawhi that much because I don't think this is an issue of load management at all. The dude has bad knees, and he just got one surgically repaired a year ago, and he load managed to try to make it through the season and be ready for the playoffs. Unfortunately, he hurt it again on a play in game 1, and he played on it in game 2, and then he realized I need some time to get this thing back right. It's just unfortunate for Kawhi Leonard, and I think people should just take it for what it is. Like, oh man, I feel bad for him. I wish he could play, move on to the next thing, but they can't do that. They need this hot take. So here he is. The hottest take he can have is the pivot from Kyrie, and then use Kyrie to compare to Kawhi, juxtapose them the two players, and which is such a genius move because he's so critical of Kyrie, and he in this moment he gets to draw so much attention to how he feels about the Kawhi situation by saying, I would take Kyrie Irving over Kawhi Leonard. And the main thing I want to point out about that is this has always been true. Everything that he said, as far as looking at it from an ownership standpoint, regardless of the suspensions that Kyrie had to go through for whatever reason he went through, regardless of the week off he took for his personal reasons, regardless of his personal relationship with the media, as an owner, as a GM, as a front office guy, as an executive, when I look at my bottom line of how much money I'm making by having Kyrie on my roster, when I'm looking at how much my team is selling out the arena, how many tickets I'm selling, how many Kyrie Irving jerseys I'm selling, how many people there loves to come and see Kyrie play, right? How many times we're on TV and what our TV deal situation is because we have a superstar like Kyrie. All right. When I look at all those things, the ownership never was losing by having Kyrie on their roster. So what Stephen A. Smith is now admitting is that it has never been a bad idea to give Kyrie Irving a long-term contract and give him his money. He's worth every penny of it, and you're going to see that money back exponentially. You're going to see that return on your investment. So it was never a bad investment to invest in Kyrie Irving. Actually, the Brooklyn Nets, from the basketball standpoint, if they wanted to be a better basketball team on the floor, they could have been by just not suspending Kyrie Irving. The last 2 years, the games he's missed had nothing to do with injury. It had nothing to do with personal time off. It had something to do with him getting suspended for a tweet and for a personal decision about a vaccination. Right? The organization in Brooklyn sabotaged their own team by trying to strong on Kyrie on decisions that he made personally. Getting a jab, tweeting out a movie. They didn't have to suspend him for that. They did that, right? And he still played 60 games this season. And that's more than what Steph Curry played. 60 games this season that Kyrie played is more than what Steph Curry has played in the last 3 years. Right? So, I mean, the whole notion, the whole narrative behind Kyrie is just so fake. And now Stephen A. Smith is all but really admitting it. It's never been a bad idea to invest in Kyrie. And that's what he's been on the opposite end of the spectrum this whole time by saying, I would never give him a long-term contract. So you were out there really on your soapbox telling Brooklyn Nets ownership and everybody else in the league, do not invest in Kyrie Irving. But if you're a businessman like Mark Cuban is, he sees it like, man, how is that a bad investment? And then especially when you meet him and you realize everything that people say about him in the media is a lie on a personal level. And you're like, man, look, man, this is financially a good decision for me. I'm selling tickets. I'm selling jerseys. I got a superstar that people want to see on TV and in person. Like, I mean, it's a no-brainer from a business standpoint. So he's admitting that, right? But that's all I wanted to really get on here and say. I don't even want to talk about the Kawhi situation or the Kawhi aspect of it, because I think that's just another way of Stephen A. Smith trying to draw attention by saying something just out of the off the wall, bogus, pretty much. It's a hot take for sure. I would rather have Kyrie. I mean, that's a good headline. I would rather have Kyrie Irving. Like, think about it. Coming from Stephen A. Smith, I would rather have Kyrie Irving than Kawhi. Right away, you want to click on that and see what he's talking about, right? So when you see that, I would rather have Kyrie than Kawhi, and you see Stephen A. Smith's face, you're going to click, right? What is he talking about? So it's genius on Stephen A.'s part, but it's false. Don't buy into it. It's false, right? The Kyrie stuff was false. The Kawhi stuff now is false. He's just trying to ride another hot take into the sunset, man. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. And I